welcome back to Creative Pet Keeping. My name is Kasha, I am your host, and in today's video we are going to continue the betta unboxing series. This is video number 3. You guys seem to really enjoy these, but I was perusing through Petco trying to find another tank, and I think this series is gonna like slowly kill me because I came across a nightlight for kids that you put a fish inside. It's literally a lamp that you put a live animal inside the lamp. I don't have words. I don't have words for this. I was hoping that this series would be kind of a cool way to check out some different tanks, because I always try to ignore the tanks and Petco and PetSmart and try to pretend they don't exist. And here I am, reviewing a nightlight that you put an animal inside. So we're gonna take a look at the top fin Fishy Fishy night. Oh boy, it doesn't even want to focus. Why is this a thing? It projects lights on top. It has a light in the middle. It's a container that holds a fish. This is worse than a betta vase. Okay, I didn't know we could go worse than a betta vase, but here we are. So let's get started. When you take a look at the product at the store, it retails for $19.99, which is quite a lot for what you're getting, and you get 2 colors to choose from, pink and blue, which are very generic colors for little kids. Particularly, I've noticed these are the generic colors that are targeted towards infants and toddlers, which ties into the fact that this is a nightlight. First, let's start off by taking a look at what is on the box. This is very important because sometimes this is the only information a beginner fish keeper might be reading. They might not be doing any extra research besides that, unfortunately. So what is on the box is actually very crucial, and these companies need to be very careful with what they tell people, and unfortunately this is very vague and not very good advice. I mean, they do encourage a heater, which I think is very good, but they say things like let your water sit for 24 hours before introducing fish, which doesn't do anything to cycle it. They do encourage that you only use this for 1 betta, which is better than the multiple fish that other tanks usually encourage. And with food, they're just very vague once again. They talk about the special features of the light, but these features are not for the fish itself. These special features are for the human only. And if you look at the materials that are provided, once again, besides the actual bowl itself, all these components are for the human. So when you're watching this unboxing and review, pay attention. What is for the fish? What is for the human? Lastly, let me show you what is also written on the box. This little paragraph highlights things as inspired by your imagination. This would be a particular phrase that you would see on a toy for a child. You usually want toys to inspire imagination. You want tanks to educate and maybe inspire you to create a biotope. Let's get on with the unboxing and take a look at all the different components you get in this kit. Now, for the price, I think the most you're paying is for the fancy LED glorified light. At least it's not an incandescent light like the previous tank that almost cooked my betta fish. That was a problem in itself, so at least LEDs won't heat up. But the materials itself, as you can see, it's kind of, I was tapping this, it is plastic. It is not that great of a quality of a material. I know that because this is targeted for little children, they're not going to use glass because that would be more of a hazard. But as you can see, you're having these pieces that would be either for the light itself, so the little cutouts are for the light projection. You've got the tube for the light to kind of fill up and travel across, as well as the power for the light itself, but you're not really getting anything for the fish. I mean, besides the bowl, that's the only part. When it comes to assembling this product, this was very easy. I actually put this together without looking at the instructions, and then I looked at the instructions afterwards because I definitely like to read through all of it because I am very curious, just as on the packaging, what do the instructions say? What kind of information do they pass on to the consumer? Because I know for a fact that the person who is going to get this is a person who probably does not know anything about bettas or fish keeping at all. This will probably encourage them to make that first impulse buy, especially for their child, whether it's a gift for someone else or for their own child. So you're probably wondering, Kasha, why are you ranting about this when you breed bettas and temporary jar them in 5 to 1 gallon containers? Well, you see the huge difference between temporary jarring fish with daily or every other day water changes and heating the jars than this is the light itself. The light is the big culprit, and that is the fact that this light is going to be on all night, which means that the fish is not going to have a regular day or night cycle. It might also not be able to sleep. Fish don't have eyelids, so they can't even close their eyes. But before we continue on with ranting about that, let's take a closer look at the instructions because that matters just as much. This started off pretty positive. They're talking about the importance of clean water, dechlorinating your water, but then it starts to go downhill because one of the things they start talking about is that you need to do a partial water change every 2 to 4 weeks. And to be honest, with that size tank, you'd probably have to do a full water change every 2 to 3 days. Another weird thing I noticed is they talk about troubleshooting common problems. So they just give you topics, but they don't actually talk about them. And some of these common problems could be fixed by fixing the product itself, such as reducing algae, would be solved by putting a timer on the light itself instead of leaving it on all night. Another big boo-boo I noticed, and they really messed this up, someone was not proofreading the instructions. They said only add about 3 new fish at a time, but yet the box says this tank is appropriate for 1 betta. So what are you doing? Why are you recommending 3 fish if it's supposed to be 1 fish? Let's just turn this thing on. I mean, that's the whole point of this light. This tank. See, I'm calling it a light now. My goodness. My brain. So here you just get an on and off switch. You don't get to choose your colors. You don't get to change anything. You don't get to change how it cycles. Just one mode. And here I turned off one of the lights so you can better see it. I also sped up this footage so you can see it cycling through the colors a lot faster. It does do it slowly. So, and you put the little thing on top that's supposed to project hearts and flowers on your ceiling. Now I have to admit, when you turn this on, it is cute. Like, it was lighting up my fish room and, you know, having a little rave, and the lights on the ceiling were adorable. It was easy to change out the little shapes. So that itself, I enjoyed as the human that is easily amused by lights and flashy things. But betta splendens, which is the domestic species of bettas that we keep, actually don't like bright lights. So to make them deal with a bright, flashing, changing light all night long, and then on top of that, these fish have to deal with natural daylight afterwards is, dare I say, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna use the C word. I think this is actual animal cruelty because you are not allowing an animal to rest. Even if the fish in some sort of way manages to sleep, even though they don't have eyelids, they can't even close their eyes. So how are they escaping this flashing light? They still are going to have a completely messed up day and night cycle because of this light. So as you can see, once I removed the bowl, really the bowl itself is the only thing that they made for the fish itself, which is just a container that holds water. Everything else has been designed for the human only. So this is not a pet product. This is not a fish product. This is a human product that you happen to put a live animal in as an accessory. On top of that, as you can see, this water looks very clean and cute. Within 2 or 3 days, this is going to become pea green, kind of green water, nasty water because of all the excess light. It is going to be so easy to grow algae. So it is going to be such a pain in the butt to constantly have to maintain and clean. Now, could have this been a awesome product? I actually think if they took out the live fish component and instead advertised it as a kind of toy tank where you get your little toy fish and you set up this little imaginary fake aquarium for kids to play with and use their imagination, I think this would have been a wonderful product as a little toy because it's cute, it's adorable, it has all the functions of a toy, it has all the functions of a nightlight, has not really any functions of an environment for a live animal. Also, there are a lot of other nightlights online and in different stores that have a lot more options and color varieties. You just get more for your money. So in theory, I can kind of understand where they were going in terms of trying to find a product for children. I don't understand where they were going in terms of trying to design a product for a live animal, because nothing about this is suitable for a live animal. And this really makes me upset, because this is not the first time I've seen a lot of these really unsuitable products being sold at pet stores, which, you know, they promote this idea that they're all about the animals, they love animals, they care about animals, yet they're pushing products that do the complete opposite, and that's really something to think about.